Mayor Jacob Frey joins us on the phone right now. Mayor Frey, good evening. Are you there?
I am. Thanks for reporting tonight.
Yeah. Can we talk about the bridge a little bit in terms of what you know? A lot of people seem to think that intent would mean if he was there to kill people, he would have aimed for them and ran them down. Some people think that he just was on there by mistake. What do you know that can help folks better understand that tonight?
Well, we're still getting clarity on the issue of intent. Obviously, the entire scenario was terrifying to watch a tanker barrel down the highway with peaceful protesters just ahead. But, you know, we were able to get our Minneapolis Police Department out there to allow state troopers to quickly arrest the semi-driver, but more importantly, get those who were peacefully protesting off the bridge as quickly as possible. You know, when you have a scenario like that, you don't know exactly what the intent is. You don't know what the tanker was carrying, and because of that, it was essential to get those protesting off the bridge for their own safety.
Right, but so you can't add anything to the conversation that Chanel did in terms of where it came from, why it was there, how it got there, any of these things.
No, I can't yet. We don't know is it definitive, and so I don't want to speculate before we know for sure.
Okay.
Mayor, I know we talked to you late last night, but looking today and looking back overnight, how would you describe things? How would you assess things?
Well, we are continuing to focus on preservation of property, preservation of life, and then restoration of order. Now, all through the day, we had very peaceful protests. We had people who were checking out the streets that had really gotten hit hard by the protests or by the looting over the last several days. I was over on Chicago and 38th, as well as Bloomington and Lake, to be with community. We really needed to spend some time with community, and the aura that was there, especially over at George Floyd's memorial on 38th in Chicago, it was just packed with love and peace and everything that George Floyd was about. And I mean, it was therapeutic in a way for me to be with community through a time of so much devastation. And to call this a painful chapter in our city's history would be a massive understatement. The murder of George Floyd has brought so much to bear on what we have to fix: systemic racism and really a brutal system that needs to change.
Do you have any thoughts about the governor appointing the Attorney General Keith Ellison to prosecute this case?
Yeah, I think that Attorney General Ellison will do an excellent job. And, you know, we need to get to a decision as quickly as possible. Obviously, there's been one charge of third-degree murder. To get the rest of this thing finished as quickly as possible and have a full charging decision, I think, is one of the first steps in not just getting justice, but getting to some healing, too.
Did you have a voice in that decision?
You know, I did have conversations with the governor about it, and I am supportive.
Yeah, the family attorney tweeted out, George Floyd's family's attorney tweeted out that they were pleased with this move.
Yeah, I mean, I've had conversations with the family as well, not about this particular issue, but you know, obviously they're grieving right now, and I mean, they deserve to be. What happened was tragic. It was wrong in every single way, and I think it really shone a light on what needs to change in the system. To have a police officer place their knee on a black man for 5 minutes straight is just unbearable. It's unconscionable. And if you're not angry, if you're not upset, something's wrong. So, you know, we're calling for peace now, obviously, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be aggressive with the way that we make changes to our system.
Yes. You know, you were just talking, Mayor, earlier about going over to 38th in Chicago and just how it brought you some peace and some comfort, and I think a lot of people have been going there for that. Tonight, there is a large group that are peaceful, and they are there right now, and they are past curfew, so we don't know how that is going to be handled. We're kind of watching that situation. Do you have thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, the universal request is that people not be out past curfew. You got to go home. I mean, I fully understand the need to be in community. I got a sense of therapy myself from being there over at 38th in Chicago. It is a beautiful spot. Here's the issue, though. When you're out, it's very difficult for us to distinguish, for the whole coordinated unified command to distinguish between those that are peacefully protesting and those that are not. And that's part of the issue, and that's why, yes, it is our request to stay home.
Moving on to who are the troublemakers, Mayor Frey, Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis joins us on the phone right now. Mayor Frey, the narrative a few days ago was, and the governor called them outside agitators. It's like an almost an old 60s or 70s term, and said these are people from out of state and these aren't our people, and we need to separate ourselves from these people. And we've checked, and the facts are that when you look at the jail records, most of these are our people. They have not necessarily Minneapolis, but Minnesota addresses, the vast majority of them. And then the governor was asked about that today and said, hey, there is no narrative, and we're not changing the narrative. But aren't you? I mean, it looks to be the people that were committing crimes in terms of looting and arson are from Minnesota.
Well, there's another factor that needs to be considered, though, which is that if you're coming from out of state to these kinds of not protests, I won't even call them protests, these looting sessions, then you probably have quite a bit of experience doing this kind of thing. And if you have more experience doing this kind of thing, then the chances of you getting caught are probably less.
You mean experience protesting or experience destroying property?
Experience destroying property. I mean, I want to make very clear what we're talking about is not peaceful protesting. This is not emblematic of the life that George Floyd lived and who he was. This is not about that. We want, I mean, peacefully if it had all been peacefully protesting, we wouldn't be here right now.
Right. So are you implying that the people that got caught, that didn't get caught, are so sly that we couldn't catch them?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they're. I mean, obviously, we have been able to catch people from out of state as well as people who were looting from in-state, but. I'm saying it is possible. I don't know for sure, but that is a possible scenario that we've briefed on.
And it is possible. A follow-up to that, please. Are you interested in directing the law enforcement of Minneapolis to look at video that we have and that all our competitors have and that print media have and Facebook, because it's all out there, that shows people lighting things on fire, that shows people breaking windows, that shows people breaking banks? Where are you on trying to find the people responsible for the hundreds of millions of dollars of damage done to this city?
Yeah, I apologize. I'm going to have to get going. I'll quickly answer and just say that, yes, of course, we'll be reviewing video right now. We've got to act in real time, though. I apologize. I got to run.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.